So, good morning, one and all, and welcome to the virtual class. Myself, Sunita teacher, and today we will see a new poem in English that is the cloth line. Now, students, this poem, the cloth line, basically, what is in this poem? In this poem, the poet described the cloth which is on a cloth line in a very imaginative way. She's explained each and everything in a very imaginative way. And this poem is written by the Charlotte Druid Colley. Okay, so first we will get some information about the poet. Okay, let me get some information about the poet. So the poet was born on 13 January. Okay, she wrote many poems which is specially based on the interesting of children. Okay, a book of play for children. There are the different kinds of book which is specially utilized and useful for the students. The play are express and tells for little folk are some famous book which is written by the Charlotte Druid Colley. Okay, so this is a short information about the poet. Now, this is our poem, The Cloth Line. First, I will recite the whole poem for you. Listen it very carefully, and then after, we will see each stanza of this poem. Okay, hand in hand, they dance in a row, hither and thither, and to and fro. Flip, flap, flop, and away they go, fluttering creatures as white as snow. Like restive horses, they caper and prance. Like fairy tale witches, they widely dance. Rounded in front, but hollow behind, they shiver and skip in the merry March wind. One I saw dancing excitedly, struggling so wildly till she was free. The living pegs and clotheslines behind her. She flew like a bird, and no one can find her. I saw her gleam like a cell in the sun, flipping and flapping and flopping for fun. Nobody knows where she now can be, hid in a ditch or drowned in the sea. She was my handkerchief not long ago, but she will never come back to my pocket, I know. A poet name is Charlotte Druid Colley. Okay, now let us see the whole poem. What is given in this poem exactly? Now, this is the first stanza, the cloth line. Hand in hand they dance in a row, hither and thither and to and fro. Flip, flap, flop, and away they go, fluttering creatures as white as snow. As I told you, student, the poet described the clothes which is on a clothes line in a very imaginative way. She said that that the clothes appear as if they are dancing hand in hand in a row because they are in a one rope line. They are in a one cloth line. So they look like a dancing. They look like a human being. They are dancing and they are hand in hand in a row. They also move quickly. They also row quickly. She said that the clothes appear if they are dancing hand in hand in a row. They also move quickly in a many different directions. Okay, ether and ether means what? In a different directions. They are moved quickly. Flip, flap, flop. That means they're making a noise made by the clothes while moving in the wind on clothesline. The clothes are moving with the help of the wind. So at that time, they're making a sound. And the sound is like a flip, flap, flop. Okay, making a flipping and flopping noise. So she calls them a fluttering creatures. Fluttering creatures, that means what? A bird. That is a fluttering creatures. Fluttering, that means a moving lightly and quickly. Moving lightly and quickly. That means a fluttering creatures that are as white as snow. That are as white as snow. So here the poet is comparing them to the white birds that fly in the sky. So basically, what is in the first stanza, students? The poet is talking about the clothes hanging on the clothes line. They are hanging on the clothes line, and they look as they are holding hands to each other, just like a human beings holding to each other hands, the same way. And they are standing in a one row. How the childrens and students are standing in a proper in a one row, the same thing. And they're dancing very happily, merrily, that means happily. And then after she compares that clothes to the white bird that fly in the sky. Okay, now let me see the second stanza. What is in the second stanza? Like restive horses, they caper and prance, like fairy tale witches, they widely dance. Around it in front, but hollow behind, they shiver and skip in the merry March wind. In the merry March wind. Now, Now, here in the second stanza, she's comparing the cloth line with the restive horse. Restive, that means what, student? That means a restless, unable to remain still, a restless person. Restive, that means that kind of person who cannot be sit a calm and peacefully, that is roam here and there, right? That we call the restive. All right. So here the again the poet is using the imagination and she's comparing the clothes towards the restive horses. And they are capper and prince. Now, what is this capper? Capper, that means leap, skip, or dance. That means a playful dancing. That means a playful dancing. How the small children, a younger children, love to dance joyfully the same way, that is a capper. And prance. Prance, that means walk, that means walk or move with high jump. Okay, walk or move with a high jump, that is the prance. So in the second stanza, she's comparing the clothes with the restive horse, and the restive horse is doing capper and prance. That means he's dancing, playful, and take a high jump. Okay, like fairy tale witches, like fairy tale witches. Then after she's saying it's look like a fairy tale witches dancing widely. That means fairy tale witches. Everyone's know about that fairy tales. Okay, that is they dance widely. Okay, rounded in front but hollow behind. Rounded in front but hollow behind. They are rounded in front but are hollow as they shiver and dance, as they shiver and dance cheerfully March wind. Okay, so the poet here comparing the clothesline, okay, to the restless horses, and the horses is leaping, okay, with the happiness. The clothes flutter on the clothesline. Okay, they form of ball like shape that is round. That means here it is line is given, they are rounded in front. So that means a ball. That means how the ball is round in shape. The same way that is a round at the edges, that the edges and hollow in the center. Okay, at the edges and hollow in the center. So the poet also feel that the clothes are shivering and skipping. Okay, shivering and skipping in the wind, that is very happy. Merry, that means very happy during the month of March. during of month of March. Okay, shivering. That means they are shaking their body because at that time too much winds or too you feel too much cold. Okay, so that's the reason she's saying the clothes are shivering and skipping. Okay, during the month of March. All right, now let me see the third stanza. What is in the third stanza? One I saw the dancing exactly, struggling so widely till she was free. Then leaving packs and clotheslines behind her, she flew like a bird and no one can find her. Now, what is in the third stanza? The poet saw one of the clothes that is dancing very excitedly, very happily, and struggling widely. That means she's struggling so widely till she was free because she want to be free. Here, students, the poet is not talking about completely close. She's comparing with someone else. Okay. So in this third stanza, what she want to try to say that the clothes are struggling so widely that she want to be free. Okay, then living pegs. Now, what is this? The pegs. Pegs is one kind of clip of wood, okay, wood or plastic, and it is used to attach wet clothes to the clothesline. Okay, as you can see in this picture, students, it must be available in your home also. See, this is the cloth. This is the pegs. Okay, it is used to attach the clothes on the clothesline. You must have seen in your home also. Okay, so she wants to be leaving the pegs and the clothesline behind her. The cloth want to be flew away like a bird, and no one can find her. Okay, and no one can find her. So what is in the third stanza? Without without specifically stating, the poet say that no one that once she was someone dance exactly, but here she's not comparing to whom is she's like to be dance exactly, but she wants to be dance exactly. With great struggle she free herself, then leaving the pegs and the clothesline she flew like a bird so far that no one able to follow her, and now no one can could find her. Okay, so this is in the third stanza. Now let us see in the fourth stanza. I saw her gleam like a cell in the sun. Now gleam means what, student? A shine bright light, that is called a gleam. I saw her gleam like a cell. I saw her gleam like a cell and in the sun, flapping in fun. In the sun, she's flapping in fun. So, what is in the fourth stanza? That fourth stanza, that is continue the suspense. Okay, now what is the suspense? Suspense here that the poet still not specify the stating that which thing want to be fly, that which clothes want to be fly away. Okay, so the suspense is continue. The poets compare that someone to a shining cell. The poet tells us that she was flipping, okay, flipping, flapping, and flopping away with happiness. Okay, she flew away so fast that nobody knows where she went and where she could be. Think of the worst that could happen. Think of the worst that could happen because we and that I and you don't know that where she is. Okay, and which kind of cloth it flew away. The poet wondered whether she is hiding in a ditch, whether she is hiding in a ditch. Ditch, that means a pit at the side of a road or the field. That is called a ditch. Okay, or may have drowned in the sea, may have drowned in the sea, must be she is down in the sea. So here the poet using the imagination and she's saying that I'm not able to find her. She must be, she must be hide in a ditch or must be drawn in a sea. So let me open up let me open up the suspense that the exactly the poet is talking about which kind of cloth. See in the next two line, she was my handkerchief not long ago. So finally, the poet revealed she is talking about the handkerchief was not long ago, but she will never come back to my pocket. I know it very well. So here in the in the last stanza, it's only in the last two lines of the poem that the poet revealed the suspense that she was talking about her handkerchief that flew away not very long ago, and she is very much sure that it will not come back to her and it is lost forever. Okay, the poetess begin the poem with the happy. Now listen, the students here. When we start the poem it started with a happy note of clothes because they are dancing hand in hand, okay, on the clothes line. But she ended with the sad note. But she ended with the sad note of her handkerchief flying away and never coming back. And she's never coming back. Okay, so this is all about the poem, the clothes line. Okay, where the poet is useful of imagination. She's comparing the clothes. Sometimes she's comparing the fluttering creatures, the animals, even the human beings' behavior. At last, she's revealed the suspense, the which kind of clothes it's lost, that is the handkerchief. To start the poem with a happy note, that is the dancing, fun, excited, and she's at the end of this, she's end with the sad note that the handkerchief is flying away and it's never coming back to us. Okay, so students, these things is happen in our day-to-day life also. This thing is happen in our day-to-day life also. The something which we have, but after few times you observe it, that is never come back to us. That is never come back to us. What is the precious thing that we have and that we have to enjoy each and every moment of that life, but after the few times it's never come back to us. can you tell me the can you tell me which things are those that is never come back to us? Through the chat box you can reply me, students. Very good. Prathamesh is saying time. Very good. Very good, Prathamesh. Age. Very good. Happiness. Day. Very good. See, student, time is a very valuable thing. If time is a very valuable thing, so utilize your time in a proper manner. Such kinds of things that we are wasting our time, it is a wrong. So utilize properly. Once the time is passed away, you will never get it back. Understood? So time is a valuable, use it properly. Okay. And here Krutika, she's saying teacher age. Absolutely correct. Once the absolutely you are correct, because once the time is goes, it's never come back. So age and time, you can say it is a one of the equal thing. All right. Correct. Day. Correct. All right. Okay. So